Welcome to the special broadcast on DD India, the great Indian election in the year 2024. Democracy's health will be tested over the globe. On our show tonight, we take a look at Goa and the Union Territory of Dadra, Nagar, Haveli, along with Daman and Diu, as India goes to vote for its general elections of 2024. Well, the smallest state of India, Goa, goes to polls in the third phase of India's general elections on the 7th of this month. Goa celebrates two Independence Days and is home to India's only legitimate two-wheeler taxis. The coastal state has the highest per capita income in India and is also the western state where the nightlife never ends. Let's take a deep dive and explore why Goa matters as India decides in 2024.
Blessed with beaches and mountains, the coastal Indian state of Goa is a major domestic and international tourism hub, well known for its old churches and Portuguese villas. Once a union territory, Goa became India's smallest state in 1987, spread over an area of 3,700 square kilometers. Panaji is its administrative capital. Located in the Konkan region by the Arabian Sea, the state was ruled by the Portuguese for over 4 centuries until its liberation and annexation by India in 1961. The state is also home to several historical sites, including the churches and convents of Old Goa, which were declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1986. In the 2024 general elections, the state, which has 2 seats in the Lok Sabha, or the lower house of the Indian Parliament, is going to the polls in a single phase on May 7. Goa has over 1.1 million voters, out of which 0.5 million are men, 0.6 million are women, while 3 people belong to the third gender. The state is governed by the Bharatiya Janata Party-led National Democratic Alliance. Other prominent parties include the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. In the 2019 general elections in Goa, the BJP and the Congress bagged 1 seat each. Although there are other regional political parties along with the Aam Aadmi Party in the fray, Goa is witnessing a close contest between the 2 arch rivals, the BJP and the Congress, in the 2024 polls.
Well, Goa, it's an interesting coastal city in the western part of India. Goa goes to polls in a single phase. Remember, there are 2 seats in Goa, North Goa, South Goa. An interesting tussle that you can see in 2024. 2014, 2019, the results have been exactly opposite. Can 2024 spin a new result from Goa for the political parties in the fray? Goa comes in the western part of India, the western state just next to Maharashtra and Karnataka there, and Goa comes exactly there in the tipping point of Maharashtra, and Goa is the state where the BJP had absolute control in 2014. 5 years later, there was a bit of a slip. The honors between North and South being shared between the 2 political national forces, the Congress and the BJP. The voting percentage, that's much higher than the national average. The national average in 2019, 67.7%. You look at Goa's average, that's almost a jump of 8% when it comes to the 2019 elections. Flip that to the assembly elections. The assembly elections, the BJP in 2017 managed to win 13, but cobbled up the record numbers to form a government there in 2017. And 2022, they had a bigger mandate. They came with 20 seats in a 40-member assembly to stake claim once again. Pramod Sawant becoming the state chief minister there and continuing to rule. If you look at the assembly elections and the voting percentage, that's even showing another 4% jump. If you compare that with the national average, that's a 12% jump that you see when it comes to 2022 in the assembly elections in Goa. Goa has 2 hot seats. Let's quickly take a look at them. North Goa, we've got Shripati Yasho Naik, Union Minister, once again back in the election fray. He's a winning candidate there from 2019. Once again back in the fray 5 years later. Taking on him is Ramakant Khalai. and you've got that revolutionary Goan party that forms the triangular force here when one takes a look at North Goa. South Goa, you've got Pallavi Srinivas Dempo, one of the richest candidate in this election fray. 1,361 crores is her declared assets and liabilities, and that's where she's one of the richest candidates in the election fray, fighting on a BJP ticket. You've got Captain Virato Fernandes from the Congress, and RGP's Robert Pereira completing the three leaders who would be testing their fortunes on the 7th of May. Before we get into any more, data analyzing on how this particular election has played out or will play out in Goa, let's quickly get a correspondent there, Jessica Taneja, joining us this evening from Goa. Jessica, how do things look this time around in 2024? What are the major talking points in Goa first? And secondly, 5 years from 2019, is the political pitch a bit different this time around?
Well, it certainly is a bit different this time around. In 2019, the election saw the North Goa seat, which has traditionally gone to the BJP since 1999, was won by the BJP candidate, whereas in South Goa, there was a bit of a disruption for the BJP, where the Congress candidate has won. And the pitch and the focus this time for the BJP has been South Goa, predominantly looking at how that particular area has to be worked upon when it comes to increasing vote share. Now, if you recall, the last time on the South Goa seat, the BJP had lost 2% vote share and giving an increase of nearly 6% to the Congress and about 3.1% to the Aam Aadmi Party. So, of course, there's been a lot of push this time to have everything right going on in the South Goa seat. But focusing back on the kind of voter issues that I have come across, speaking to people on the streets at the campaign trails of both the BJP and the Congress tours so far, you would notice that most of the voters at this point particularly focusing on the issues related to their land resources. If you go towards the hinterland, you would find that there is a significant population that wants to restart mining as well, and then the other significant population which does not want to restart mining. So, of course, we have varied voter concerns. And if you particularly look at South Goa, there's a lot of demand for discontinuation of a lot of environmental activity that harms the environment, particularly the coal trucks being carried. So there are varied issues spread across the region.
One particular focus, especially on South Goa, you touched upon it. How does one look at the South Goa battle? Because that's a bastion that the Congress lost in 2014, managed to regain it in 2019. Francisco Sardena managing to win that seat. This time around, new faces from all the three forces. Do you see the political battle, the political pitch being different?
Well, the political battle is certainly a bit more heightened and a bit more moving in the direction of a high-pitch one in South Goa for sure. And as you pointed out, from the RGP as well as the Congress, which is their candidate being former naval officer Captain Virato Fernandes, he has been going around a pillar to post, in fact, going to all villages, and we followed him in one of his villages to Madgaon to see his corner meetings. So he has been really reaching out to all in South Goa. Now, recall, Anil, the BJP has won South Goa seat only twice in the past. In 1999 and in 2014, as you pointed out. For the rest of its history, since 1962, the South Goa seat has been won by the Congress. And this time, there has been a lot of push by the Catholic community as well. So you could see a very difficult and a tough result for the BJP to turn it around. While the BJP has been able to field Pallavi Dempo, a very renowned entrepreneur and an economist as well, an industrialist, pardon me, from South Goa. They've pitched her. The family has been known in Goa for the longest time. The daughter-in-law of Srinivas Dempo. So they've put a lot of weight around Pallavi Dempo to push her and to make sure that she emerges victorious in this, and especially selecting a woman candidate. This is the first time, in fact, the BJP has elected a woman candidate. So you can see the kind of emphasis that is being made in South Goa, particularly when the last time significant vote share was lost, and to make up for that, there has to be a lot of work to be done, and the BJP is putting that effort in it to it right now.
Okay, Jessica, we are running short of time. We could have continued deliberating on it. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us, giving us those live inputs there from Goa. Well, moving from Goa to another one union territory now. There are two. We are talking about Dadra and Nagar Haveli along with Daman and Diu. They are now being put together as, if you want takes a look, as two seats, but it is put together as one union territory. Let's quickly take you through the data when it comes to these two seats, Dadra and Nagar Haveli along with Diu and Daman. A quick look at how these two seats now as one union territory. The voting again taking place on the 7th of May. That's the third phase. Dadra and Nagar Haveli there beeping on that India map, and quickly taking a look at the numbers on how this particular elections have taken place time and again. Both the seats put together, 2014, both the union territories, then both now as one, with both the seats there with the BJP. 2019 things changing. Again, very much above the national average, a 8-point jump over the national average when it comes to the 2019 vote. Also quickly taking a look at the big candidates there, the big candidates there in the election fray. It's Delkar Kalkaben from the BJP, especially in Dadra and Nagar Haveli, taking on Ajit Ramabhai Mahalla from the Congress. And this is an interesting battle that you would see for this particular seat. Both the candidates this time around are leaving no stone unturned when it comes to capturing the people, the voters' imagination. Daman and Diu, an interesting candidate, Lalubhai Patel, has been winning the seat since 2004 and continues to be in the election fray in 2024. Taking on him is Ketan Patel, another interesting candidate, and this could see some interesting election battles, especially for these two seats, which are now one union territory. Okay, a quick look at our final graphic there when it comes to how the voting percentage has been, especially when it comes to the 2024 elections. Remember, the 2019 election final numbers were 67.4. Let's take a look at phase 1, phase 2 of elections that we have seen in 2024. 66.22, that's the male voter turnout. But purely look at the 5 seats, which has got the lowest turnout in phase 1 and phase 2. Nevada from Bihar, 43%, Almora in Uttarakhand, Mathura in Uttar Pradesh, Rewa in Madhya Pradesh, and Dholpur in Rajasthan. 3 seats in phase 1, 2 seats in phase 2. We have seen the minimum, less than 50% of voting. Also quickly take a look at urban apathy, the turnout below 60%. Look at the seats, 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 7 seats in the second phase. Put that numbers together. When you look at the average there, Trivandrum, because, heavyweights in the election fray, some of these seats have heavyweights, and that's why these numbers are surprising when you look at the urban apathy towards coming out and voting. A lower than average turnout. What are we cutting it out as a benchmark? 66.14. That's the phase 1 turnout that we have seen. The seats where there are pink marks, that's where the women have come in more numbers than the men to vote. The one in blue are where the men have outnumbered the women. But quickly take a look at all the seats there in the northeast. It's the women that have called the shots. And if you look at this particular phase, this is where below the average of 66.14, you see the states where the voting percentage is below that average that we have got of 66.14. Shocking numbers in Bihar, shocking numbers in Maharashtra, shocking numbers in Uttar Pradesh. We'll analyze what went right, what went wrong. Also below average turnout in 5 of the 13 states. Look at it. This is the second phase that we are looking at. The states above, 5 states where the women have outnumbered the men when it comes to voting. But again, centering around Kerala and Karnataka, surely good numbers because the elections, Karnataka, the first phase, 14 seats are over. Second phase, 14 seats we yet to see. Kerala stalking strong numbers there, but again Thiruvananthapuram, that's the talking point. Phase 2, 66.7 is the average. Look at the 5 states where the average is still below that average. Once again Uttar Pradesh, Bihar making it to that tally, and that's where these numbers don't add up, and that's what has been one of the talking points of phase 1, phase 2 of elections. We've had a look at Daman and Diu along with Dadra and Nagar Haveli. These two seats have now been clubbed into one union territory. Let's quickly take a look at the state or the union territory profile of these two places, and we are going to get back with our experts as we deliberate on what matters in Goa and the union territories. You stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Located in western India, the Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu was created after the merger of two former UTs of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu in 2020. The Union Territory comprises four separate districts, Dadra, Nagar Haveli and the island of Diu. Once ruled by the Portuguese, the UT is a blend of history and natural beauty. Spread over an area of over 600 square kilometers, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu is a well-known tourist destination. Its current capital is Daman, while Silvassa is its largest city. In the 2024 general elections, the Union Territory, which has two seats in the Lok Sabha, the lower house of the Indian Parliament, is going to polls in a single phase on May 7th. The UT has more than 400,000 voters. Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu is being governed by an administrator appointed by the central government. Prominent parties in the fray are the Bharatiya Janata Party, Shiv Sena and the Indian National Congress. In the 2019 general elections, the lone Lok Sabha seat in Dadra and Nagar Haveli was backed by the Shiv Sena, while the single seat in Daman and Diu was backed by BJP. The 2024 general elections will be the first one in Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu since its merger as a single entity. Election Desk, DD India.
Well, what do we look forward to for answers in this particular phase of election, especially Goa and the Union Territories? Let's quickly take a look at the three questions that we are looking for answers this evening on this show. The first one, how will the national parties face the regional forces challenge? Our second question, how does the opposition navigate, especially the challenges of swaying voters without dedicated representatives? A final, how differently are the union territories facing the political heat in 2024? So three interesting questions. Let's open the floor for our two guests joining us this evening to take these deliberations forward. P. Pulla Rao, senior political journalist, joining us in the studios. And we've got Rajesh Menon, senior political journalist, joining us from Goa to take this deliberation forward. Let me first come to you, Mr. Pulla Rao. You know, Goa throws interesting results every time that elections have seen. But this time around, do you see the battle lines being different and the issues that are there, you know, both for the political parties as well as for the regional forces, different?
Yes, definitely Goa presents a very interesting picture this time. While North Goa has been consistently returning a BJP MP, South Goa has gone back to the Congress side. Now, so this time BJP has brought in a non-political person who is well known in Goa, Pallavi Dempo, to take the place of the former MP candidates. So there's going to be a very interesting fight in South Goa this time, you know, between the Congress party and the BJP. The BJP has come up, as I said, with a person who is a personality of Goa, but who was not earlier in the political stream.
Okay. Mr. Rajesh Menon, this time around, you know, South Goa seems to be getting all the headlines. You know, is North Goa missing that flavor, you know, or that buzz that elections throw up, especially when it comes to the two seats from Goa?
See, North Goa has been predominantly been a BJP stronghold. And if you look, the Union Minister of State, Shripad Naik, has been winning here from 1999. So if he wins this time, it's going to be a record sixth time for him. And except for one election where he scraped through with 6,000 votes, otherwise he has been winning very comfortably. Last time also he won by 80,000 votes. The previous year in 2014, previous election in 2014, he won by over 1 lakh. And also you have to also look at it that the BJP is very strong organizationally in North Goa. So North Goa has, I don't see a surprise over here, though these two guys, Ramakant Khalap from Congress and Shripad Naik, are fighting the battle after 25 years.
Okay.
25 years ago, Shripad Naik defeated Ramakant Khalap to become the MP of North Goa.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Rajesh Menon, also when it comes to, this time around elections taking place in Goa, do you see the regional forces, it's their battle for survival, especially not only in Goa, but also many states, where the regional forces are not able to get the political pitch right when it comes to the national political parties, the way they bamboozle, the way they create the frenzy, the regional forces not being able to play or match steps with the national forces.
See, in Goa, it has always been a politics of personalities rather than politics of parties. So, but when it comes to Lok Sabha elections, we have to take into considerations that the personalities don't play a part. It is always the national parties which come into picture. So the fight is always between national parties. Only this time you see that the revolutionary Goans, they have come in. And one of the reasons, they are a debutant into the parliamentary polls in Goa. And one of the reasons is because in the 2022 assembly elections, they got 10% vote share. And they also got one seat. So that has made them gave them a confidence, saying that probably we will be able to make inroads into the Goan political arena vis-a-vis the parliamentary polls. But I don't see a regional force coming out of Goa, taking on the national parties and trying to make an impact on the national level.
Okay. Mr. Pulla Rao, 2022 assembly elections, the AAP has managed to get a foothold, especially in Goa. Do you see now, the AAP political force, joining hands, especially with the Congress this time around, making it a strong pitch, in both the seats? Or do you see the local cadre or the national cadre put together, the BJP, on a much stronger footing?
You see, the AAP gave a very spirited fight in 2022 assembly elections. I got about 4% of the votes, I think. But now, is there a question of vote transfer? Now they are supporting Congress, against whom they fought a lot. So I think it will be a dissipated force. Some of its votes may go to the other party, a small regional party, which got 10% last time, and then to the BJP. I don't think there will be 100% vote transfer from AAP. By aligning with Congress and not having a candidate in Goa, I think AAP will slowly lose its identity in Goa, and its workers will disperse to the other parties.
Okay. Rajesh, now looking at the union territories, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, along with Daman and Diu, now that they are one, but two seats there, how do you see 2024 being different from 2019?
No, I feel that, union territories generally go, if you look at it historically, they are generally with whoever is there in the center. So I don't see much of a change in that. I have not been to those places to get a hang of it or a first-hand knowledge of it. But what I can see from a historical perspective, union territories are generally, they stick with the party which is right at the center.
Okay. Mr. Pulla Rao, final thoughts, especially on the union territories, the battle they present. Is it going to be on very similar lines of 2019? The opposition has been trying tooth and nail.
I think the BJP has made inroads there stronger. And, as a friend has said, normally they align with the party in power, but BJP is also very much powerful nearby in the state of Gujarat and other places. I think they have an edge this time in both those seats.
Okay, an edge this time in both the seats there. We could have continued discussing Goa and the union territories, but paucity of time. Thank you, Mr. Pulla Rao, for joining us in these deliberations. Also, Mr. Rajesh Menon joining us from Goa. Appreciate you joining us this evening, helping us understand Goa and the union territories of Daman and Diu, along with Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Well, the Great Indian Election is your one-stop show on weekdays on all that matters in Indian elections of 2024. What could be the state, or rather states, that could form a part of our deep dive on Thursday night. The state of Madhya Pradesh and Assam go to polls for the third phase on May 7th. What could be the issues that could find resonance with the people? Will the opposition be able to find a pitch in the electoral battle? Watch why Madhya Pradesh and Assam matter as India decides on the Great Indian Election at 8:30 p.m. IST only on DD India. Well, with that, it's a wrap of this edition of the Great Indian Election. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. Until we meet again, good night, stay safe, take care.